Well, welcome, ChangePoint family, to Afterthoughts, our post-service Commons experience. And our vision as a church is to bring life in Christ to every Alaskan and the world beyond. What a wonderful message from Dan today. Just a reminder of one of those many benefits of finding life in Christ. And one of the core practices that we bring to the table to have that happen is demonstrating life in Christ to the people around us. And so I am joined now by not only Vanessa Makihele, who leads our family ministry, but also Scott Smith, who leads our ministry to students. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Thanks
everyone.
for letting us come into your living room or campsite or fishing trip, wherever you might be watching us today.
Hey, that's one of the cool things about this season is they could be literally anywhere. So we want to talk to you. We want to give you guys the full rundown on this study hall idea and the plan and why we're doing what we're doing and why. So Vanessa, you're leading this initiative. What is the study hall initiative? What are we doing?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've been talking about as a staff and praying about is, okay, God, during a season where we can't gather together here physically in person, we've still got this facility. It's a great place, and from the get-go, we've always wanted to surrender that to the Lord for His purposes and His plans. And so during this season, with us not being able to gather here in the building, and through prayer, the idea of a ChangePoint study hall came up. And it wasn't just our idea. We spent time talking to some of the principals of our local school business partners. Some of you guys may know we partner with 4 local elementary schools within the Anchorage School District, and they're all neighbors to ChangePoint. And so it's Campbell, which is across the street, Gladys Wood, which is down Raspberry, Chinook, which is right behind Diamond, and then the next exit, which is International, is where Northwood is. And so talking with some of those principals, it was really clear that with the Anchorage School District's options for schooling, the group that was really going to be affected was the in-school option families. And those are families that would prefer to be in school, but right now, while it's the red alert or whatever, the high risk, they have to homeschool. And that causes a real bind for those families because these are working families. And especially in this neighborhood, we have Northwood, which is a Title I school. Chinook, which should be a Title I school. They missed that by just a percentage. And even Campbell and Gladys Wood, there's a lot of lower income families. And what one of the principals was telling me is it's families that have to, they have dual incomes just to pay rent, or lots of single parents. And so the need was really clear and the opportunity was really clear. And so we stepped right into that. And that is to offer a place where kids could come during the school day so that their parents can still work. And the biggest fear has been leaving children unattended at home. And I'm sure teachers are starting to see that through their Zoom sessions, that parents aren't really around there. I mean, there are parents that are around, but what do you do when there isn't one? And so that's the concern of the principals. It's a real concern. And so ChangePoint's had an opportunity to step in and help. And it's a practical need that we're meeting.
Yeah. Wrong one. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I'm switching the show while I'm on camera, so be patient with me. Yeah, as we were talking through the plan overall, we were seeing the same pattern we've been seeing in all the stuff through COVID, which is how these different changes affect different families is all over the map. When we did the phone calls of everybody in the church, some of the people we called, they were saying, man, honestly, this has been one of the best times for us. We've gotten more time as a family. We're doing puzzles. Can we hunker down all the time? And then other people we were talking to, and it was like, my house is a pressure cooker. Like this is really bad.
Yeah.
So, I think we were seeing a very similar thing with the in-person schooling in terms of how ready people were to deal with this. So tell us a little bit about the school business partnership. That's not something that I think a lot of the ChangePoint family is super familiar with.
Yeah, so a few years ago when Luis Palau came and did his festival here, one of the challenges was to go out into your community and find ways to serve the community. And this was leading up to the Luis Palau Festival. For ChangePoint, it was real simple. We went to some of our neighbors and asked them, how can we partner? And some of those neighbors are these elementary schools. And what a blessing to be able to be a part of our public school system in this simple way. And so that's how we've partnered. It started years ago, and since then we've helped out with things like adopting children or families for Christmas, or some of the schools do turkey bingo where families can come and play bingo, but win a dinner so they can have Thanksgiving. We've helped with school supplies. We've helped with meals for families who don't have a lot of food. We've started a pantry over at Northwood where we've donated food for kids who go home at the end of the day and the principal worries about what they're eating for dinner. 2 meals are provided at the school, but that 3rd meal is not provided, or long weekends. And so those are just some of the ways. We've also done fun things like judge science fairs and stuff like that. But that's how we've been able to partner with them as a school business partner.
So, we talk about demonstrating life in Christ as one of our kind of core values and practices. Like, how do you see this as a way to demonstrate life in Christ to these families?
Well, I think for us, just loving them during the season is really important. And sometimes that just looks like meeting practical needs. It just is that basic. And even hearing from some of the parents that we've already accepted their kids into study hall. I heard from a dad, who, Scott mentioned it earlier, he lost his child to OCS. And he just got her back. And there's a lot of things that he has to have in place. And one of them is to have stable income, a safe place to live. And so how do you do that as a single dad when you can't afford childcare? You're trying to keep food on the table, and now you have to homeschool, and it just doesn't work. Not everybody has super flexible schedules with their workplaces, or able to work remotely. And so for him, it's caused him a great bind. There was another mom, single mom, who was able to work at home when we hunkered down, but now her job is telling her she has to come back. And she literally this week was saying how the day that she saw this, actually the schools have really been pushing it. Those 4 schools have really been pushing it. So the day that the principal told her, well, here's something that might help you, she said she was trying to decide if she should quit her job to take care of her son. But by doing that, they wouldn't have anywhere to live by next, in a month or so. They wouldn't be able to pay their bills. And these are the kinds of decisions that people are making. And so for us to be able to demonstrate the love of Christ in this simple way by just giving up a few hours of our day to make sure these kids are safe and that they have snacks and a meal and they can log into Zoom. It's really simple things that we're going to be doing, but it's really going to demonstrate the heart of Christ. It's not about us. It's about, giving it's about serving other people, and they're seeing that.
And we totally know how to do this, right?
Yeah.
Like we know how to take a couple hundred kids in and keep track of exactly where everyone's supposed to go and what their allergies are, and
all of this stuff. It's almost like God's prepared us for this, because this is a hybrid between VBS and Sunday morning. It's this great hybrid, and we have an opportunity to really just be a safe place for kids and develop relationship with families in our community that we would not reach otherwise. And so that's the big win in this, is there are families that we're going to be connecting with, that we'd be praying for, that we're really going to be helping. And especially during the season for childcare, we already know that there aren't enough childcare facilities here in Anchorage. They're really expensive. And some of the programs that are offering something similar, we're doing this pretty much not for profit. Like, there's a small fee, but we are scholarshiping as many as we need to. But that money goes right back to the kids.
We're not making money off this, right? This isn't like some kind of plan
let me give you a comparison. Yeah, this is not for profit. So we're charging $10 a week for families, and that's
$10 a week for childcare.
For childcare for the whole day.
Obviously, yeah.
And that $10 is going right back into the kids. We're going to buy their school supplies, snacks. In comparison to some programs that are similar, that are charging $300 a week or almost $3,000 per quarter, no one can afford that. If you're going to do that, you might as well put them in private school. You know what I mean?
Right. You can do for that kind of money, you can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and so this is pretty much a thing that families can participate in, that they can afford. But it's just going to be a great way to minister to these kids.
So, Vanessa, so basically, if people are interested in being a part of this, if they want to be involved, you've been cooped up in your house forever, and you want to be on the front lines of demonstrating life in Christ. The way I see it, there's basically 2 jobs, right, that you can volunteer for. What are the 2 jobs that we need people to do?
So there are 2 shifts. It's the morning shift, which is welcoming in the kids, checking them in, and supervising them during their morning studies. And then there's the afternoon shift. So the morning shift is from 9 to 12, And then the afternoon shift is from 12 to 3. So it's just 3 hours. And basically we'll be sitting with the kids. We got some response last week that took away the evening help, which would be cleaning up and transitioning rooms between other ministry things that are happening in the building. But basically it's just the morning shift and the afternoon shift. We need people from 9 to 12 starting tomorrow. So please email 9 to 12 and then 12 to 3.
All right, so let's say the email about 15 times, shall we? Where should they email if they're interested in being a part of this?
Email me, Vanessa M at ChangePointAlaska.com.
That email, if you didn't hear it, was Vanessa M, Vanessa M, like
M like Mary.
like Mary, at ChangePointAlaska.com. We'll say it a bunch more times before the end. Let's transition, though, here. We have Scott with us as well. I promise I didn't bring you along just for your good looks. Let's broaden this conversation a little bit and talk about the plan for students and for children kind of in the fall. This has been a big question mark. We've received many messages from people, emails from the church family. Hey, what's the plan with students? What's the plan with kids? How are we going to navigate this? There are many different possible answers. So Scott, I will turn to you first. My friend, what is the plan for students in the fall, I ask?
Well, we've been meeting as a students all through the summer, which has been awesome. Kayla's been doing a great job with keeping the kids active and getting them out into Alaska. They've done some hikes and rafting trips and canoe trips. And we're even excited about the study hall. I think one of the things we're excited about with the study hall is getting high school kids to be able to come and help supervise those classrooms, because they can do their class online also here at the church, and then they also can be supervisors for those rooms. So we're really encouraging high school kids to get plugged in with the study hall. I was excited to hear that the Boy Scout troop volunteered to clean up after for 2 nights during the week. And so it's been neat just to see how different groups and individuals have jumped on board to partner with the study hall. And we're hoping students will do the same and be involved with that. But we're kicking off September 9th. It's a Wednesday, and we're going to be kicking off our middle school and high school ministry and due north at that time. We have actually our calendar done. So Caleb and myself have been working really hard to kind of get the whole year is pretty much down on a 1/2 sheet of paper. And we're going to get those printed off and have some magnets made up so you can stick those on your fridges at home, and you'll be informed as to what's going on with students this whole year. So we're excited about some of the things that we're doing and that are going on. We've got our winter camp, which we do every year. Caleb's been working hard making stickers, so we got stickers for everything. Winter camp has been high school, middle school, but this year, Vanessa's holding them up.
Winter Retreat 21 stickers. We got the Yeti on there. The Yeti has become like the unofficial mascot of student ministry Winter Retreat.
Winter Retreat, the Yeti.
So, okay.
But this year we're doing a middle school winter retreat also, and so we're excited about being able to have 2 winter retreats, one for high school and one for middle school. And then we have our fall retreat, which is called Crash. We have our little Rhino Crash sticker. All ready to go for you to put on your water bottle. So these things all came in last week. Like I said, Caleb's been working hard on Photoshop, getting those logos all done up. And then we're excited about this year, we're doing Costa Rica for our high school missions trip over spring break. And so we've got some sweet little Costa Rica stickers. Vanessa's modeling for us. Yep, there we go. For your water bottle. So we're hoping to have that team picked and ready to go by November. So we'll be hearing more and more about that trip and how to get involved and what that entails in the weeks ahead. But we're just excited about getting together with students again, seeing everybody. And just seeing what God does. The student space is almost ready. They've been putting in the new sound system and projector in there. Dan Hendricks has been working hard over the summer to get that all dialed in, and we've got lights hanging from the ceiling, and it's going to be really good. So really looking forward to what God's going to do with students this year.
Okay, so much stuff there. Let me go back to a couple of things that are muy importante. Number one, you said the September 9th?
September 9th is our kickoff. It's a Wednesday night for middle school and high school. It's going to be here at the church.
And due north, you said, correct?
And due north.
Okay, so this is everybody from 6th grade through 12th grade. 6th grade through 12th grade.
Wednesday night.
You have an event coming up Wednesday night, September 12th. No, September 9th. Is it 9th? 9th. September 9th.
The 9th.
And it's going to be where?
Here at the church.
And it's going to be at what time?
At 6:30.
At 6:30. So 6:30 on Wednesday, September 9th. If you're between 6th and 12th grade, you want to be there. And then we had a whole set of demonstrate opportunities. You know, one of the things I love the most about this church is that our youth are not JV members of the church. We are an intergenerational church that has members of many different ages. So you mentioned right off the bat there, student ministry helping with the study hall. So there you have older students helping younger students have a safe place to be and study. So their education is less affected by the situation we're in. You had, and then a mission trip to Costa Rica, which this is not the first student ministry mission trip to Costa Rica by any stretch of the imagination. How long have you guys been doing this now?
Oh man, I think this will be, I'd have to go back and look, but it's been a couple years.
It's like year, I don't know, 5, 6. Yeah, it's not 10, but it's more than 3. And the whole church, we've had adult trips, we've had youth trips down to the same community. We partner with a church locally there, so that relationship has been developing over the last decade. Very, very cool stuff, and a transformative experience for students. So thank you to you and Caleb for your work on getting this all together. We didn't know exactly what students would look like this fall with everything, obviously. What does international travel look like right now? I mean, it's all up in the air. And all these plans, we're going to hold them in an open hand, right? We know that 2020 has been the year of rapid changes in plan, but this is where we're headed.
So if you're interested in hearing more about what's going on with students, you can check it out on the Student Ministry Facebook page, also on the website, but register your kids. So there's no cost to register your kids, but what that does is that gets you into our email list. And so whenever we send out an email of information, it goes to only those parents and students that are on that registered list. So if you got a due north kid, middle school kid, or high school kid, go onto the ChangePoint website, get them registered. Like I said, there's no cost, but what that does is that puts you into our email list, and when we send out mass communications, that's who gets it. So
that's changepointalaska.com/students. It's like you scroll down right under the header, there's a bunch of blue buttons. That's where it says register for this one, register for that one. That's where you're going to be, changepointalaska.com/students. And if you're a student who wants to help out with the study hall, that email again is vanessam@changepointalaska.com. Vanessa M. At
or just show up here on Monday.
As of right now, we need more people in the mornings. Well, we need people every day. So join us.
Okay, so we need to figure that out. So Vanessa, one of the big pieces of news today was that we are going to regather for worship services this coming week.
Yep.
It was one of the kind of distinctives we identified at the beginning of this 4-week reset was we're now ready to go. When the restriction lifts, we're back in person, and then, so we're ready to go on and off with no preamble. The big question, though, has been, what is it going to look like for Adventureland? Because if you're a parent and you're thinking about an in-person worship service, you have exactly one question. So, my friend, what is it going to look like in Adventureland?
So we're trying to keep things as normal as it was for the kids pre-COVID. But what that means is that we're going to also include a few things like COVID screening when they come in and things like that. But once they get back into the classrooms, we're really hoping to keep it as normal as possible, which then requires us to provide safety and security is a big part of Adventureland on Sunday mornings. It's really important to us to make sure the kids are safe and that they're secure, and that we have a lot of fun. But the first two are the things that we have to focus on right now. And so as we're getting ready to ramp back up to reopening, we really need our volunteers to step in. So whether you've served in the past or if you're interested in serving and you haven't served before, now's the time to jump in. We'd like to regather on the 13th with it like it used to be pre-COVID, all those years ago.
Yeah, and also just everyone is facing different healthcare realities and risk factors in this season. So there will be people who have served in Adventureland previously for whom right now that's not the right fit.
Yeah, that's
right. Not a wise decision. So if you're not in a high risk category, if you're not caring for someone older, I mean, if that's the stage of life you're in, you might consider serving during this season, knowing that some of these servants who've worked for years are not going to be able to step in this season.
And that's kind of what we're facing right now. Is we've reached out to all of our volunteers, and there are a lot of people that don't want to step in yet, and so we're still going to regather. We're still opening up Adventureland, and so when you take away those people off our schedules, there's a real gap. And so that's where I feel like our church family could really step in and serve these families and serve these kids, if they're willing and able to step in and serve with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So if people are interested in serving there, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, if you're interested in serving with us, or if you want to do study hall, you can email Vanessa M at ChangePointAlaska.com.
That email address again is Vanessa M at ChangePointAlaska.com. So I've got some questions here from the chat. The 4 schools, one more time, are Northwood, Campbell, Chinook, and
Gladyswood.
Gladyswood. Okay. I'm a former Campbell Cub myself,
Are
so
you
that one's
really?
easy for me to remember. I was actually there when they changed from the Buccaneers to the Cubs. So if anybody else remembers that, changing from Buccaneers to Cubs. Anyway, hello. Good to see you. Other questions we've got here. Questions really about expanding the program. You know, we started out with the original plan was just Northwood, just a pilot
Yeah.
group. We've already expanded once. What does it look like? You know, what are the thoughts and plans on continuing to serve more and more families here?
We'd love to open it up to serve more and more families, but that requires volunteers to step in. And so we just like with Adventureland, you know, we've been prepped really well in how to facilitate something like this from our years of experience with Adventureland and Awana and with VBS. And some of our safety practices is we do not open a classroom unless we have 2 adults present at all times. And so in order to open and to expand it as much as we'd love to, we need more adults to step in. I wonder too if there's other churches within our city that would be willing to do something like that. People are getting really creative about doing learning pods within their schools or within their bubbles, their friend bubbles. But yeah, for us, we'd love to expand it. We just need the volunteers to be able to do it.
We got a question here. Are there ways that people can participate who can't come in from home? Are there any ways to serve if you're not able to come in and run one of those shifts?
Yes, because we are providing things like snacks, and so maybe doing a Costco run for me. We just need one person. So we just need one person.
Lots
so
of snacks.
Please,
Bring in the
we don't
snacks.
need 30 people to
All
sign
right.
up to bring in snacks.
So Anita, it's you. It's you.
You're it. Costco run,
Email.
my friend.
Email Vanessa M at ChangePointAlaska.com. Okay, perfect. Well, we're 1 minute over our time here, but I can't have the floor for the end. Is there anything else that either of you would like to say to our ChangePoint family as we sign off today?
Well, I'll say a little, and then you can wrap it up.
I'll wrap it.
You've talked the least. You get to wrap it, Scott. All right.
Get to wrap it. Well, we just want just pray for our families that are starting school, that have started school this week and adjusting to those rhythms. Pray for our teams as we get ready to open up Adventureland. And I know Scott will probably mention that for his ministry as well. But just prayer for just wisdom and clarity on exactly how to love families well in this season.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for us too, is just praying for these students as they're trying to figure out what school looks like for them, what their future looks like, for our seniors that are trying to figure out what college looks like for them next year, and even for our seniors that are out this year that are actually in college, and what that first year looks like for them. Some are at home, some are at school doing online classes, but just ways that we can love and encourage them during this time too. And then, yeah, if you feel called to help out with students 6th grade through 12th grade and are interested in investing in making some life change in these young guys' lives, we'd love to have you join our team. So if you can't come here next week to see us in person, just shoot us an email or contact us through the webpage. There's a volunteer link on the bottom of the student ministry page to join us there too. So thanks for joining us this Sunday and sticking around in the Commons, and looking forward to seeing you next week if you can make it in.